Alrighty. What's up, people of the world? It's me again, Alex Wimmer, aka AP3 Jumped. And welcome to the VLogz 64. And today I'm going to be talking about the 20th, excuse me, I kinda can't talk today. Today I'm going to talk about the 20th anniversary of the Nintendo 64, as well as Super Mario 64's 20th anniversary, since that was the launch title and those two things debuted on the same day. Sorry, my hair looks a bit of a mess again. I need to get it cut, but that's beside the point. So let me talk about my experience a little bit. My experience with the N64, it's pretty interesting. Well, for starters, the very first time I ever played the N64 was at my cousin's house. And that's the only time I ever played it, because I never owned one myself. So that was the only way I could play that system. The first game I ever played on it was Super Mario 64. And I kind of beat it, and that game, I played like various portions of the game, and I'll get to that in a sec. The other two games I played on the N64 on the actual console were Pokemon Snap and Pokemon Stadium. Both pretty fun games, or Pokemon Stadium's especially fun. Pokemon Snap, I didn't play that much of it. Didn't really care that much for it either. On Mario 64, on the other hand, obviously I loved, and my first time playing that was pretty damn fun. I'll never forget the things that freaking scared me in that game, like freaking Unagi and the freaking Mad Piano. Like, holy shit. Like, as a kid, I thought the Mad Piano was literally eating me. So that's how freaking scary that freaking Mad Piano was. Unagi was still pretty scary too, but and like I said, I didn't actually really beat the game on that console. I just played like various portions of it. Hell, I even got to Bowser in the Sky. I didn't realize what stages I was playing. Sometimes I didn't realize, and sometimes I did. But I wouldn't get to play that game or beat that game until the DS version of Super Mario 64 came out. Then I played that and I realized, holy shit, and this is a remake of Mario 64? I didn't of course I didn't even realize that until I got the game. I didn't even realize it was called Super Mario 64 DS. I thought it was just called Super Mario DS. I somehow missed the 64 up in the corner. So yeah, 100% the DS version first. And then I would go on to do that a few more times. I would go on to replay the game, and of course 100% each time again. So I would not play the original version of Mario 64 until the Virtual Console. So it wasn't until I downloaded that, the original version, from the Virtual Console on my Wii, it wasn't until then that I beat that 100% Super Mario 64. And let me tell you, there's one freaking mission, it doesn't matter which version you're playing, it's the freaking snowman's head that you have to guide down the freaking to his body, or actually his body down to his head. And let me tell you, that's an absolute pain in the ass. But yeah, no matter which version you play, that mission in a Cuckoo Mountain will always be a pain in the ass. However, all the cons aside, everything else about the game I loved. My favorite level would have to be Womp's Fortress. Fucking cars. My favorite level would have to be Womp's Fortress. And Womps were some of my favorite enemies in the game. And obviously, Gyarados is my favorite theme in that game. And would also go to be one of my favorite underwater themes of all time, as well as one of my favorite Mario themes of all time, and one of my favorite video game themes of all time. Fucking car. But anyway, now going back to playing the N64 at my cousin's house all these years ago. I was like 8 or 9 years old when that happened, or somewhere around there. But anyway, even though the only 3 games I would play on that would be Mario 64, Pokemon Snap, and Pokemon Stadium, those wouldn't be the only games I would play in the N64. I would later go on to play other Mario games. Fucking Mario Party. How the hell did I forget about Mario Party? I need to talk about that now. But yeah, the 4th game I would play on the N64, the console that is, at my cousin's house, would be Mario Party. And let me tell you, that game was so fun and so intense too. Like, if you don't already know how hectic and how just crazy Mario Party can be, especially the first one, yeah, you probably already know, but from my experience, like I said, it was a pretty damn fun game. I freaking loved it, and I can't really figure out anything else to say about it than what's already been said on how fights would ensue every time we played that game. And every single person who's played Mario Party, especially the first one, would tell you that fights would always ensue between each other while playing that game. Or any game, or particularly the first one. So yeah, even though the only 4 games I would play on the original N64, let me start that over. Even though the only games I would go on and play in the N64 at my cousin's house would be Mario 64, Mario Party, Pokemon Snap, and Pokemon Stadium, those wouldn't be the last N64 games I would play. Later on, I would go on to play all the other Mario games on the N64 via the Virtual Console. And those games would be, if I can remember them all, Mario 64, obviously, and Mario Kart 64, Yoshi's Story, and I'm trying to think if there are any other N64 games that I got. You know, I honestly think those were the only other 2 N64 games I would play in my lifetime, because I've actually never played Conker's Bad Fur Day. However, I have watched my friend Malcolm Massa, aka Dark Recall Zero, he's been on the channel before. I've actually watched him play Conker's Bad Fur Day on his laptop before, back in junior year. But yeah. And also, I've never played Banjo-Kazooie or Perfect Dark or GoldenEye 007 or even Donkey Kong 64, because I honestly don't intend on playing those games, because Donkey Kong 64 is overwhelming as hell, and I've seen how convoluted its game design kind of is. I might get some hate comments for that, but even Banjo-Kazooie, even though I've played games like Jak and Daxter, and hell, I'll even put SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom as an example. Even though I enjoyed those games, I just don't feel like going through all the trouble of playing DK64 or Banjo-Kazooie. So yeah, that's my experience with the N64. Now with randomness. First, I'll start off with the random object of the day, and that is this Mario shirt. I don't think I've ever shown it on camera before, so if I have, then this is a retro random object. A retro random object. Then that's such a freaking mouthful. But it's a Mario shirt, obviously, that says, "I must ask you a question." Pretty sure that speaks for itself. You know, I honestly don't remember where I got the shirt, but random fun fact of the day. Did you know that Mario 64 was originally developed on the Super Nintendo, and it was originally going to be ran on the Super FX chip, much like other games like Yoshi's Island and Star Fox. And the game was going to look a lot like Star Fox with its polygons and whatnot. And so yeah, Super Mario 64 originally started on the Super Nintendo. And in fact, there was actually a working prototype of that originally, but although there's no footage of that because I can only imagine what that prototype would have looked like. I bet it looked awesome and very interesting, very outdated too, because Star Fox 64 hasn't aged all that well. I'd probably get some hate comments for that too, but yeah. So that's it with this video. I hope you enjoyed me talking about my experiences with Super Mario 64 and the games I played for that system, whether it be on the physical system, or remakes of N64 games, or being on the virtual console. Yeah. So if you like this video, then don't forget to subscribe. Be sure to stay tuned for more vlogs, hopefully, and hopefully you'll get a little bit more SMEX content, and hopefully we should resume the rest of this season of random video. We're still right in the middle of season 4. 3 episodes left, but anyway. I'm Alex Swimmer, aka AP3 Jumped. Thank you for watching until the end. That's it for me, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye. This video went on a little bit longer than I hoped, but oh well. I still hope you guys enjoyed. Bye-bye.